With Movies and More, the best seat in the house is right in your own living room. If you thought you had to spend a fortune to see the latest blockbusters, think again. Movies and More gives you Hollywood's best for the price of a popcorn alone. Need a TV, camcorder, or a VCR? Call Movies and More. Get a free lifetime movie club membership just by buying a new VCR from us. Movies and More, New England's largest video store. There's one near you. Check your yellow pages. Movies and More, with the best seat in the house.
Guys, let's talk about VHS tapes. Stop letting other resellers convince you that VHS isn't worth anything. 90% of it is worth nothing. Well, let's not say nothing, but it's not worth your time. If you look at the daily sell-through on VHS sells every single day, but usually from the $2 to $5 range, $7 with free shipping. So it's already from the jump, it's untrue that VHS doesn't sell. But this isn't what we're talking about. I don't care about the tapes that sell for $3 every day. We're going to talk about the gems, because there is a ton of money to be made in VHS tapes, and I'm going to show you some examples. I picked this up the other day at Goodwill for 50 cents. The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. This, had it worked, it didn't work unfortunately when I tested it. It was very skippy, very jumpy, the sound was off. I was afraid that the VCR was going to eat it. So I abandoned ship about 3 minutes in. I didn't think it was going to get any better though. So I'm out 50 cents, but had this worked, this could have been a $20 to $30 VHS tape. I don't know why this one had value because it's readily available on DVD, but it did, and I'm sad that it didn't work. But this is just one example, and I'm going to show you many. So here's an example. Halloween on VHS. I found this at St. Vincent de Paul. It was 50 cents. The box was in really nice shape, display shape, because I assume a lot of the collectors want them in display shape. And I paid 50 cents. I sold this for $39.77 plus shipping. VHS is super easy. It goes in a poly bubble mailer, and out the door it goes. Very little protection needed, and I mean, you tell me, is that worth your time? 50 cents into $39.77. It's incredible what people will still pay for VHS tapes. Here's another example. This is Warriors of the Wind. Now this was an English dub of an old Japanese anime cartoon, Nausicaa of the Valley. When they released it in the United States, they butchered it, they chopped it all up incorrectly, they dubbed over it. The creator hated the way that the English dub turned out, and that was it. There was no other home release ever of this version other than this VHS tape because it was so hated by the creator. They wouldn't license the rights again for any of their films for a long time. That's a whole nother story. I'm not a history channel, we're not going to get into that. But I did a lot of research on this tape because I couldn't understand why this tape that I paid 50 cents for, again, was sold for $44.77 plus shipping. The key to VHS, if this is any example to you, you have to test them though. You don't want to take that hit sending someone a VHS tape, and they may never play it. It may go right on their shelf into a collection and never be played. But on the chance that they do stick it in a VCR and it doesn't work, you know, how mad would you be if you just spent $50 on VHS that doesn't even work? Here's another one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. You probably see this every day at a thrift store, sitting on the shelf. This one was wrapped, so it was worth $30. You can see if you looked at the comps, they sell anywhere from $30 to $50. Had it been open, it's a $5 movie, but because it was a sealed VHS, that's why it was worth the money that it's worth. Ninja Turtles is another category of VHS tapes that you should always check because there are quite a few of them that are little hidden gems that can be anywhere from $30 to $80 films. So check it because you could have a $100 bill sitting on that shelf. But again, $30 out of 50 cents. That's the great thing. VHS, it's such a low risk, high ROI item. out in my garage. I bought an entire box. It's just assorted Disney Afternoon, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin. I think there was some Blue's Clues, some Big Comfy Couch, just a whole mess of VHS tapes. Do any of them have any inherent value? I don't know, because I really haven't looked through the box yet. On the surface, when I kind of comped, it looked like they did. But I paid little to nothing for the box, so what's the difference? Even if I just have to donate them all or throw them away, it was worth it to me. I'm a gambler when it comes to reselling. Before I used to resell, everybody likes those little scratch-off tickets. We all love a scratch-off ticket. And a lot of the items I pick up, I just kind of look at them as scratch-off tickets. If I take $5 on a chance and it turns into 100, awesome. If it turned into nothing, well, then how is that any different than scratching off a ticket? These I picked up just last week. There was a group of 8 sealed Disney Collector's Edition gold clamshell VHS tapes. A couple of them have really old cartoons from the 30s, like all the beginnings of Disney throughout history. If you look at the comps, some of these go for incredible amounts of money, and I just grouped mine together. I put them up the other day for $69.44, and I have 4 watchers currently. So I think they're going to sell. Will I get $70 for them? I don't know. The first person that comes along with more than $50 on an offer, they're gone. I can tell you that, because VHS also, as great as it's been for me, feels like a category that there's a very limited buyer base for each individual genre, and if I turn down an offer, it could be months before I get another offer. So it's something that when I have it and I have interest in it, I like to turn it over as quickly as I can, because again, any profit, $10 off of it when this was 50 cents, so I'm interested to see how those will do. I think I'm going to get pretty good money for those, and that's like a $4 investment, so I'm pretty confident. Some of my sales are too old for me to pull up the old sold information, but Barney VHS still does pretty well. That market's kind of crashing because it's very oversaturated now, but the Time Life series of Barney tapes specifically is the one that will still sell for really good money for certain tapes. If you think I'm making this all up, go ahead and do the comp work. Just go look at it. After this video, don't turn me off, just search rare VHS tape, vintage VHS tape, and set the solds to $35 or more, and you'll be amazed at the amount of VHS that sells and the prices that they sell for. Going back to the Halloween, a lot of old vintage horror movies do great. A lot of it didn't get released to DVD. Some of the VHS cuts have scenes that were removed later with rating systems and other releases. So there's a million reasons why people still buy these VHS tapes. A lot of it comes down to just the audio and cinemaphile mindset of the same person who would rather have a record album than a DVD or digital media. They don't like DVDs. They want to have the old VHS to slide it in and watch the tracking. Like, I don't understand it. I'd much rather watch a nice 1080p version of something than an old jumpy crappy VHS tape. But there are still people that want it, and they'll pay you for it. Wrestling. I sold a big group of WrestleMania VHS tapes over the summer. I got like $50-something for those. Old wrestling VHS does great. The older the better, the rarer the better, because anything that wasn't produced by WWF or WCW from the 90s and back has kind of just been lost to time, because if Vince McMahon doesn't own it, it's not available anywhere except for old VHS tapes. Here's a great example. Disney Halloween Treat. This is one I stumbled on searching rare vintage VHS with solds of higher than $35. It was never released to DVD. It has no home movie release other than this one specific VHS release. And if you look at the comps, it goes for huge, huge money. I haven't been lucky enough to find one yet, but I feel like because I actively search through all the VHS when I go to estate sales and garage sales, I think that my odds of finding one are pretty good. I don't know how many were ever released. I'm sure that's going to factor into the fact if I ever find one or not, but just take the time and search. Look through these VHS solds, look what's listed and has interest and has watchers, because when you're hitting those garage sales and estate sales and flea markets this summer, people will practically be giving away VHS because a lot of the reseller community doesn't think this has value, but especially the average person thinks that this is an obsolete media format that has no value, and you can practically get them for free. Not even practically. I've seen boxes of VHS tapes at the front of someone's driveway walking up to garage sale, free, and nobody wants it. They walk right past it. I'll take it, because there is huge money to be made. You just gotta find it. It's like anything else. You just gotta look for it. I mean, what examples did I show here? That's just the few tapes I showed here. That's $100 or more that I've sold, and I'm potentially hoping that I'm gonna get another like $60 on this tape that I have listed now. An update on those Disney VHS, as you can see right here, they sold while I was editing this video. So there is money to be made in VHS. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So again, guys, do the research yourself. If you think I'm full of shit, it's all right there for you to see. You can look at this on your own and see that if you just do the homework, if you do the research, this summer you can make a killing with VHS tapes. This was a category that was part of my 2019 strategy. 2019, I wanted to make it a point to arm myself with as much knowledge as I can, whenever I can, about VHS tapes, because it's one of the few things that is in every thrift store, every garage, it's everywhere. Anywhere you try to go source, you're gonna see VHS tapes. So why not take advantage of that? There's a reason that people are buying VCRs. It's not just to watch their old home movies, it's because a lot of these things are gonna be lost to history without these tapes and VCRs. 25 might be a little young, but that's where my jumping point off will be. Say 25 to 45. There's a lot of the stuff that our generation watched that never made it to a DVD release, never made a digital release. Even if it was lucky enough to get a VHS release, half of it never got released. It aired on television and then it went away. So that's another avenue you can find to make money on, is even taped off of TV tapes will sell, depending on what's on those tapes. If you have a few hours of Cartoon Express on a tape, it could be worth a fortune. It could be worth nothing, but it all depends on what's on it. If you're willing to take the time to deal with VHS, it can be worth... I'm just rambling now. I don't even know what I'm saying. Don't sleep on VHS tapes. Don't believe the hype that this isn't worth your time. It's absolutely worth your time. If you like making money, it's definitely worth your time. Don't overlook VHS tapes. Arm yourself with some knowledge. Make some money this summer. There are hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be made. You just have to find it. It's like a little treasure hunt. It could be fun. Don't sleep on this. Don't let anyone fool you. There's plenty of money here. I'll see you next time.